Hey guys, welcome back. This week begins a series of videos that are going to primarily be dedicated to repairs. I've never done repair videos, so let me know if you have any tips. I'd be more than happy to listen, because I've never posted videos that are dedicated to repairs. I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible so that they help others. I know that when I search YouTube for repair videos, I am very grateful for the person that spent the time putting them together. In the process, the videos might be boring to some. I hope not, but I can see how they would. So again, if you have any tips, let me know. Let's get into it.
I'm Amy, a Midwestern Kansan girl, and this is my boat, Maritopia. Having never stepped foot on a sailboat, I bought a $5,000 Facebook Marketplace worn out 1973 Pearson and spent 2 years endlessly working on and learning from her. I've since foregone the conventional lifestyle and have started my solo sailing adventures with the goal to truly immerse myself into the vast diversities that our planet has to offer. My hope is that these videos will help spark the curiosity of others, which ignites the drive to truly live your own dreams.
So ever since I've owned Maritopia, there's been a big problem, and it is driving me crazy! We're gonna take care of that. So, inside of the mast are wires. Wires for the coax that runs the VHF antenna that goes all the way to the top. The wires that run the anchor light, that run the spreader lights, that run the wind instrument. And whoever originally did it did a crappy job. And how they lived with themselves after the fact is beyond me. But a crane truck is going to be here in Luperon apparently tomorrow, which in Dominican time means later this week probably. I need to get the mast ready to pull out because I am going to secure those wires so that they don't bang on the inside of the mast. Let's unhook these wires. So there's wires down here. You can see them right there that I need to unhook. And then here is the coax that runs to the VHF radio from the antenna that's on top of the mast. So we need to get all of these wires unhooked. So let's strip this girl down. Now you can see where the wires come in right here. Whoever ran these did not secure them on the inside of the mast, so they just bang and bang and bang. Who on earth would do that? How do you sleep at night? I can't. And I promised myself I would not make it through this hurricane season without fixing this. So, we're fixing it. And we're gonna do it the right way. A lot of hours, but well worth it, because that means sleep. Sleep! Quality sleep! If you haven't heard the wires slapping in previous videos, here's a couple of examples of what I've dealt with non-stop for the last 2 years. These are all of the ground wires. So these butt connectors, what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to cut these wires in half at the butt connectors themselves, which when we're going back together will allow me to see what wires were hooked to what. I will show you what I mean. I'm cutting these wires like I did, so I can see when we go back together that this white wire is hooked to a white wire. I can see that this white wire is hooked to the red, and I can see that this white wire is hooked to blue. So that'll give us reference so that we hook everything back up the same. And all of these with the eyelets on them are all grounds that get hooked together. Well, those are the easy ones. This coax is gonna by far be the hardest one because I'm not cutting that. And that goes all the way to the VHF radio, way over there, without any splices in it. If I added splices in it, it would just add interference, and it's dumb. I'll do it the right way. And the other wire that we can't cut is this one, which is the NEMA 2000. This is the one that goes to the top of the mast that controls the wind instrument. So that one goes forward, and it hooks into the same NEMA 2000 connection that my triducer does. So that one hooks up in this area to the NEMA 2000 network. Well, I've got the NEMA 2000 unhooked. So this connection right here was what ties in up there under the V-berth. And it's what sends the signal from the wind instrument that's on top. The wind vane that I just replaced that shows the electronic version of the wind angle and speed. This runs all the way down the mast. It ran under the floor and up there. So that's done. We only have one more wire, and that is the coax that runs all the way from the antenna that's on top of the mast all the way to the VHF radio. So I'm not really sure where it runs. I don't remember. My electronics compartment, I believe it runs under there and then along right here and up with all of those wires. But almost all of those wires I have ran. So it's possible that it runs up there and then through this compartment back. And also, I've noticed something that I probably want to change. They have drilled 3 separate holes for the wires. I don't like that. So what I think I'm going to do when the mast is out is I have marked right there just below the level of the sole, the floor. So I'm gonna drill a bigger hole down here and run all of those wires out of the same hole. That will make it substantially easier when I'm securing these wires to not be pulling them through 3 separate holes. So we'll see once I get to that point. But those are my initial thoughts. So I'm kind of just speaking out loud right now. And it will make the mast when that white cover that I removed, all of these wires, you've been able to see where they bunch up with inside of that white cover. if I run them so that the wires come out below the floor level, then you won't see these cables bunched up underneath of that white cover. Well, I have successfully got my boat all torn apart. And this antenna coax runs this way, and then inside of the compartment, so that's actually a good thing, because then I don't have to cut all of those wires apart. Let me start cutting wire ties. I didn't film it, but I got all the wire ties cut. I've actually got all of the slack pulled back under here right now. But if you're ever doing an electric job, make sure that you throw the damn wire ties away. Don't just leave them in there. It makes it a pain in the ass later on for anyone else. Of all of those wire ties, probably half of them had already been cut at one point. That's dumb. Just pick them up and throw them away. Well, here is the VHF coax. I did cut the end off because the holes to pull it out of are too tight. But these coax fittings, you can take them apart and pull the old cable out, put the new cable in. The new cable twists in there, so it just twist locks. And then you can put the shield back on, which is also what threads it onto the VHF itself. Well, in my case, it threads it onto the AIS. That is everything on the inside. The VHF coax is loose. The NEMA 2000 is loose. And all of the anchor light, spreader wires, and whatnot are unhooked. So now I'm going to go outside and make sure that all of the standing rigging is loose at the base. So once I get over to the work yard, it's pretty simple to just undo the standing rigging and pull the mast out. The challenging part about the backstay, though, is that I've got that PVC board on there for rain, and I'm going to eventually screw a funnel on here so that that little hole, it funnels it down, and then I'll put a piece of rubber hose around here so it runs any rainwater out. But I'm gonna have to take that PVC board off to get this backstay out of. But I can. That's the connection I got to get loose right there. And so it's super easy to get it loose. You just loosen it up there. Give it some slack and pull that pin out, but this, I'm positive 100% is too big to go through that, and I don't want to cut that hole any bigger, so I'll just spend the time to take that PVC board off. But it's the middle of the afternoon. I don't know if you can see the sweat on my face in this video, but it's hot. So I'm done working for the day. I will do that first thing in the morning when it is not so hot and humid. So I'm gonna put the boat back together now so I can be comfortable. crane truck now in Luperon, I woke up super early and got Maritopia to the boatyard during high tide. The only time that she'd fit in the marina. Hopefully these guys understand we're under a time crunch, because I've only got so much time that I can stay in here. It's high tide right now, and with my 6-foot draft, it's only going to take another half hour, 45 minutes before I am sitting on the bottom. So I'm not sure what they're doing. Looks like they're having problems with their crane, but I hope they're not working in Dominican time. I hope they're working in my time, or at least a decent pace. I'm yet again explaining to them how quickly I need to get Maritopia back into the harbor before she ends up sitting on the bottom and having to wait until the next high tide to get out of the marina. So, coming back out to the boat, Maritopia looks weird. I just turned her into a trawler. That's funny. Just like that, it's the next day. Some of my fish wire, feed wire, whatever you want to call it, broke. I'm going to use this. This is fishing line from the yo-yo. The same fishing line that I bundled up into 5,397 knots when I was pulling that mahi in. But I have 2 spare rolls of this. This will not break. It's going to be harder to tie on to wires, but it should work much better. Well, I've got them almost, you can see, I think you can see, there's the NEMA 2000 fitting. This one isn't quite there. I'm not sure what the deal is with the anchor light wires and the coax. Got the line so that they don't tangle. We got this one going out that way and a rock holding it. There's another rock right there, and there's another rock back there. So let's see if we can somehow manage to pull these wires through the holes without breaking anything, or without having to undo everything. The fish tape is twisted around in there, so I'm gonna undo the end of this one and pull it through. Oh, there went the anchor wires. I've got to go pull it backwards at the bottom. Oh, there we go. Now I can see the end of the coax. There's one of 6 or 7 total wires. But that's a start. This one might be a little bit trickier. I may have to make this hole bigger. Well, there's the NEMA 2000 one. Well, 2 of 3. there's the top three. I've got the anchor light wires, got the NEMA 2000 for the wind instrument, I've got the coax. I'm gonna go sit in the shade, drink some water, and take a break, because those three are hands down the hardest ones. The other ones that I have left to do, one goes right here, which for reference is right above the spreaders. One goes right here, and that's for the spreader light. And one goes right here, which is for that spreader light. So I guess there's a total of 6. But the other 3 only have to go halfway. Break time. Well, now that the upper ones are done, I've ran an actual fish tape, that's metal, from where the steaming light goes on the front of the mast, and the spreader lights. So there's the fish tape. Then, so that I can run them together through the mast, I'm going to pull them both through with this one, and then pull the spreader light wire back with this. So how it was ran before, each spreader had their own wires. I'm going to run one wire to here, and then go through here to the spreader. So hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt, but it should make it easier. And then there's less wires on the inside of the mast. So now I get to do the wire tie thing all over again. On this, I'm not going to put quite as many wire ties. Not only is it not nearly as heavy, but the wire ties that are on the main harness that goes all the way to the top, they'll help with the movement of these two. So I'll only put 4 or 5 around these. Or 6. No doubt that when I'm pulling these in, they're going to snag on the primary harness wire ties. I'll just have to figure it out. I'm sure y'all don't want to watch me put a million wire ties on. So we'll skip ahead. Well, I got the steaming light wire and the primary spreader light wire through the mast. So now, in order to get the wires for this spreader light, I'm going to run the wire from this one on this side through the mast and come out this hole. So I'll tape this onto here and pull it through. This will be the easiest one of all of them I've done. Now let's pull it through the hole. Alright, we've got the steaming light wires. The steaming light attaches with those two screws. Here's the wire. Then we've got the spreader light wire. And here's the other one. Both of those will hook to there. And then it comes across the mast. And here's the other. Now that that's done, I'm going to get all this fishing line cut off of here. And start installing all the electronics back on the mast.
If you'd like to stay up to date and follow along with the adventures, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join me next week as I continue getting the mast all updated and ready to put back in. I failed to remember that the reverse osmosis water I was now buying had no electrolytes, which sent me into the V berth for half a day with the air conditioner on high. Being under a crazy time crunch, I had no choice but to make a quick day trip to Miami to get the new standing rigging that I didn't know I needed until the mast was down. Once back in Luperon, we'll walk through the process of putting stay locks together,